our revenue or the money, what we depend on, will definitely go down, which will now affect our economy. So that is exactly what is going on at the moment, because there is no demand, people are not producing, but hopefully we believe that this will start picking up very soon. So, but in terms of what we can do as a country is more or less to look at the impact of the coronavirus on the economy and say, what can we do? One, of course, you know that even before the coronavirus, we're already having some economic challenges. Our foreign reserves going down, inflation is coming up, unemployment is there, and also, so the major issue is about revenue and the cost of governance. So in terms of revenue, what can we do in the short term? There are a few things that we can do to move the economy to a better. Of course, we grew just by about 2.7%. So the question is, how do we move the economy from this low growth to a very high growth? And in terms of the quick wins or the short-term measures, one, I would recommend that the government should quickly look into reviewing the assets that we have, the ones we need, the ones we don't need, and which one can be quickly privatized or quickly sold. So with that, you can actually say, let me even go back and say that what is required is a robust monetary and fiscal policy to send the right signals to the market, to the international community to say, oh, Nigeria has a good strategy or robust strategy that will address some of these issues. So when you now break down the monetary policy or the fiscal policy and also the supply side policy, when you now break down all these policies, we are sending the right signals to the market to say, okay, we are really doing what we are supposed to do. So when you combine what I said earlier on in terms of selling some of the assets, the second thing you can look at from that aspect is in terms of all the subsidies that we are giving out. We really need to continue to give out these subsidies. And I say, okay, what can we do better in terms of reducing some of these subsidies? Then thirdly as well, we also need to have, as I said, what we call concept of forward guidance from the central bank to clearly say, this is our monetary policy. And there should be a synergy between the monetary policy, the fiscal policy, and the supply side policy. So there are a few policy options or implementations that can be carried out by the federal government in collaboration with the state governments that will definitely protect Nigeria from adverse consequences of coronavirus and other economic challenges.
You know, it's really affecting all the sectors across the world, even for sports. I did mention earlier what LeBron James said. I think the hockey league is also on hold for now. I'm also aware that I think Tokyo is postponing the opening ceremony for the aquatic center. It was supposed to open March 22. Now they are postponing it. So we're seeing disruptions everywhere. For those that would like watching football like me, you see the players just going to empty stadiums. That in itself is an economic slowdown for the owners of those leagues, or even for the fans themselves, for those clubs that make money and all of that. If we bring it back home, let's take a look at what it is doing to our currency, which is the Naira. Yesterday, we saw some kind of panic, the frenzy in the market. The Naira was exchanging to the USD. Over 400 Naira at the parallel market. At the I&E window, I think about 378. Yesterday also, the central bank came up with a statement saying, in fact, the title of that press release, let me say it as they said it, market fundamentals do not support Naira devaluation at this time. And they did say that those that perpetrate this falsehood, these speculations, will be punished. What do you think at this time? And how much can the Naira survive at this time? That's the B part of the question. The C part of the question is the Central Bank of Nigeria really fortified at this time to defend the Naira against all the ills and against all the devils coming against the currency right now?
There is no doubt that we have challenges in our economy. But the question, or what we're supposed to do to ask is, do we really have the capability or the potential to mitigate or reduce the impacts of the global economy? So for instance, with regards to the currency, the reason why the dollar or Naira seems to be depreciating is because of the fall in the global oil price, based principally, first of all, because of the coronavirus, Then secondly, because of the clash or the fight between Saudi Arabia and Russia. So the oil price is going down. So today I think it's about $37 or
32.
something. 32. Yesterday was about 37.
36, yes.
So yeah, so because of this fear, so people believe because that we are a mono economy that everything depends on the price of oil. Of course, if the price of oil is going up, it means that our foreign reserve will also go up as well. So if the oil price is going down, it means that our foreign reserve will be challenged. So, but if you look at what the reason why central bank is saying is that I think that maybe they are looking at the time and what we have at the moment. There is no doubt that we have a challenge, but I don't think that the speculative buying is the right response, and that's why the central bank is saying that people doing this will be prosecuted, will be arrested, and all that and all that. But what we are supposed to look at is what we have now because our foreign reserve, and what can we quickly do to address the challenges in terms of how can we quickly, first of all, diversify our economy and also tap into what we have. I've mentioned the issue of selling of assets. I've mentioned the issue of looking at the monetary policy and the fiscal policy. We also need to rethink quickly how can we tap into the potentials of Nigerians in diaspora. So we have about 15 million Nigerians in diaspora. Of course, we said last year they contributed about $25 billion that is coming to Nigeria. So and if the global interest rate is very, very low, and we have these 15 million Nigerians that are saving in this very low global interest rate, is it possible for us to clearly, strategically harness what we have outside there to help us with the demand for FX? It's something that needs to be properly looked into. So if we're able to combine all these policies, I think that we can still the naira can still be stabilized, even though it might. I have personally argued that having the way central bank defends the naira is not very sustainable, in the sense that it doesn't follow market fundamentals. The market, that is demand and supply. So it requires a mix of policies. One from the central bank, two from the fiscal authority or fiscal policy, and also the supply. So when you combine all this, I think and I believe that Nigeria has the potential to mitigate some of this crisis.
Okay. Okay, Doctor, let me quickly take you on some of the things that resonated with me just quickly, because we have 2 minutes to the end of the show. You did talk about selling assets. Selling underlying assets now, will it really be a good time? Who are those that will buy? Because there is really no money right now. Then number two, you did say that we should harness the potentials of diasporans, that we know how much they bring into the country. That's even on the official, because there are a few people that still send $100 here and there to their folks without it being accounted for. So you're saying interest rates globally now perhaps is not too good. Are you conversing that the interest rates here should be increased, should be raised to attract foreign exchange? Wouldn't it hurt us?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Let me address the two issues. So you talked about I talked about selling of assets, the one that we are not that we don't really need, or the one that the government is. So many of the assets that we have are just lying underutilized or unused completely. So we shouldn't just feel that nothing will happen again because we have coronavirus. Coronavirus would definitely end, and it's already giving signs that it's ending, that it's coming down in China. But let me also point out that in terms of the global investable funds, about 20% to 25% earn negative interest. So what it means is that we have millions, billions of dollars looking for where to invest and looking for where to make more returns. So if we do the right thing and send the right signal, anybody saying that there is no money, that people are not willing to buy, maybe the person is not really looking at in terms of the global issues. So there is money there, both locally and globally, that are willing to buy some of the assets if we do the right thing in terms of relevant reforms that we're supposed to do. So that's our part. The second one is in terms of how do we use Nigerians in diaspora to help us with our current challenges. So I said last year they contributed about $25 billion. That is money coming into Nigeria. And what I'm trying to suggest is that they live outside Nigeria and the global interest rate is low. So the question is it possible for us to have a mechanism where they can save in the foreign currencies, and we can even pay a slight interest, that is a special account for this kind of funds, which can now be used for our imports. So from China, from UK, from US, and other developed societies. I'm not saying that we should increase the interest rate in Nigeria. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that for these guys outside there, if they're earning 0.75 in UK or 0.5% in the US as interest on their savings account, what happens if we offer them maybe 3%, 4%, 5%, as the case may be, and say, okay, with the money can now be used to address one of these challenges. But let's not forget that the foreign reserve is also affected based on demand for import, that is imports. So when it goes up, our foreign reserve will go down. So there are a kind of policy mix that can be used that can help us to address one of these challenges that we have. What is important is to send the right signal that we are doing what we are supposed to do, and we are listening to the private sector and other stakeholders in the process of making Nigeria a better place.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Ngwu.